Welcome back to ICP Strategy. Tim here to break it all down for you. Smash the like, sub to the channel, comments down below. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. Do your own research, make your own decisions. And what we need to talk about, ICP going 1000x, what exactly do you think that would look like? Would it be an investment that everyone already knows about, that everyone's really excited about, like SpaceX? SpaceX is not doing 1000x. I know that. Um, Gold is not doing 1000x. Gold already popped and everyone already got on board. It's like, why did people start buying gold and silver after the metals had a huge run up from, you know, I know silver, I used to buy silver coins for like 30 bucks and stuff. Um, then all of a sudden it was like 100, and then everyone wanted to buy. And it was like, well, why didn't they want to buy it before when it was cheaper? Wouldn't that have made more sense? And same thing happens with all other types of investments because people do what their emotions are telling them. And right now, their emotions are telling them that Bitcoin isn't worth their time and certainly not altcoins. But isn't that like the time you should be buying when you can like scoop up all these assets? I don't know. So what do we think about altcoins? Like, Ethereum is the biggest altcoin and it's dipped all the way down to like 15 something. And then now it went up a little bit, but assuredly it's going to go up. ETH isn't going anywhere. It's going to follow in Bitcoin's footsteps. It just always does. And no one's excited about Bitcoin either. I don't know anyone else in my life personally that is actively buying Bitcoin, and certainly not altcoins. I know a few people that still own Bitcoin or altcoins, but they're certainly not buying anymore. And comment down below if you know anyone personally. I'm not talking about like people in the community that are actively purchasing certain coins. But yeah, like it's just not the hot topic right now. Why? Because prices are low and prices haven't moved in a long time. And the capitulation happened a long time ago. Now people are just like disgusted with the idea of even buying Bitcoin or ICP or ETH or any of that stuff. But it isn't going anywhere. I think that it's just an emotional mentality that most people have. Um, there's other things that have been doing better, like stocks, Pokemon cards, etc., and so on. You could. I wouldn't really necessarily like be getting into that stuff. I can't give you financial advice and tell you what to do with your own money. But if you want something that's gonna 100x or even 1000x, you need something that's like not really like super hot right now, and something that is going to get super excitable, you know, in the future, whether it's 6 months or a year from now, doesn't really matter. Because when you look back at, a lot of things, um, there was like a huge pop in like basketball cards in 2021 and recently. They went back up again, but specifically like Shaq rookie cards, I was looking at the graph for. They hadn't like done anything, for all the teens, the 2000 teens, and you could have just like picked up all the best Shaq rookies for like super cheap, and then all of a sudden, 2020 rolls around, the Jordan documentary like makes everything go up like crazy, and then, I'm just using Shaq as an example because I just remember looking at the chart. It just kind of like came to me just now as we're speaking. And then all of a sudden, like it went way up. And then that's when everyone was like buying and going crazy. And then the bubble popped. And then most people thought just kind of like we're never going to see another huge bubble in sports cards like that ever again, because it was a special situation because of the whole COVID thing and people being at home. The Jordan documentary came out, and you know, we went on to see, like, a big run up in altcoins and Bitcoin and everything, stocks and everything too, on top of that. But I don't know why, like, that seemed like such a good example, because it's like you could have, there was such a long time when you could have picked up Jordan cards, Shaq cards, or Kobe cards, whatever it was, before the big run up, but they weren't getting bought up. They were just sitting there. And that's kind of how I see crypto and altcoins right now. And the Bitcoin maxis are like really going off as far as thinking that, like, everything else is garbage except for Bitcoin. And I like Bitcoin, Bitcoin's good. I don't think it's going anywhere. There is a limited supply, and countries are building up reserves and as well as companies, funds, institutions, blah blah blah. There's only so much out there to buy, but the same thing could be said about ETH, Solana, whatever coin. I don't necessarily like those much. I still hold like a lot of other altcoins. I haven't sold them. I don't generally like sell and like try to like trade and buy, and it's just like I accumulate. But for the past several years, I've only bought mainly ICP and Bitcoin. That's just me, because I feel that those are kind of like the best investments. I also like ETH. I stocked up on ETH and stuff too, because I don't think that's going anywhere. The inflation rate of ETH isn't even as high as Bitcoin, honestly. So I don't see why that can't be an asset that could have value in the future. Like, why can't it? I don't think it's like particularly useful. I mean, people are like building on it. Like, really? What are they building on ETH? Smart contracts? I don't even really know, like, for what exactly. Tokenization and all. I don't care about tokenization and RWA and all this. Like, I don't, if you're going to tokenize stuff, great, fine, you can do that, but you can do all that on ICP, and it's way more secure and comprehensive. I mean, you can do so much more on ICP. It's cheap, there's burning, there's staking. You can run whole businesses within canisters, which is incredible because it's totally secure. You own it, you own the data, you own any of the information you put out there. Once you can start uploading videos on chain and stuff, that's inevitable too. Run your own AI, which won't be censored and programmed to not be able to give you certain information that you actually want. It's like, I don't need my AI to give me propaganda. I really don't. Or just to like poo poo any like, natural remedies, or like, I don't know. There's like so much like stuff that's censored on the web, and we don't have to go through that anymore. We really don't. We can, the truth will set you free. That's what I would say about this whole ICP project. We can upload truth on chain to the Web3 infrastructure, and we can, use it for our own personal benefit, or we can put it out there for the world, and it can't be taken down. It can't be censored, can't be demonetized, it can't be canceled, can't be confiscated. I mean, it's really amazing to think about. If you've done anything with caffeine, really your imagination is the only limitation to what you can build as far as businesses, apps, websites. You can do NFTs, token launches. Um, you know, you can do um, all sorts of like company infrastructure, like accounting programs, and have it all work together. This is the stuff that Bobby O talks a lot about. I mean, subscribe to his channel. It's only $3 to join. So it's like, uh, it's just amazing. I mean, I don't know why he's selling so hard to us. He should be selling to companies, which maybe he is. I don't know. Or maybe this is all part of the way he's doing it, is by putting the information out there so that companies and institutions and governments will come to him to figure out how to implement these ICP solutions to their nation state infrastructure. Um, it's really amazing. I think that once the ball gets rolling, it's going to snowball. And it is an altcoin, and that's the only problem with it right now, is that people are seeing ICP as just another junk altcoin, which I think all of the altcoins are going to go up once Bitcoin goes up and hits a new all-time high and skyrockets to 1 million. I mean, what are some of these altcoins going to be at? ETH is going to be astronomical, and Solana is going to go up, and Cardano is going to go back up. All the altcoins are going to see a huge pop. And the more and more people actually understand what ICP is, I mean, it's not going to take much for someone to come in and just like buy up a huge amount of the ICP supply and use it for their infrastructure, and use it for their reserve. It's fuel for Web3. It is the actual fuel when cycles are getting burned to run apps and businesses and all the data collection within canisters and the AI. It's actually hard to even fathom, and you can't expect retail to really comprehend that when they can't even really comprehend what Bitcoin is. They don't really look into the future. They just see a price and like get depressed and uninterested. So, I mean, I wouldn't say don't focus on price. I would say focus on price, because the fact that you can buy an ICP for $2.30, like, wow, you can pick up 100 for a couple $100. You can pick up 1,000 for a couple thousand. It's like, that's crazy. I mean, just, you can stake that. You can, I don't know, the amount of things you can do is just unimaginable. I can't even put it into, it expands your mind, is what it does. You start realizing the possibilities, like how vast the universe is when you first start to kind of realize. That's kind of the same thing. Like, the vastness of this technology is really insane to think about. And something like that doing 100x, I think, is easy. But I'm not telling you what's going to happen or giving you any predictions or advising you what to do or anything. But 1,000x is definitely doable from where we are right now, which is just like rock bottom, hopelessness, area when you talk about where the prices are right now. So do with that what you must. Sub to the channel, and just try to think about the future. Think futuristically, and you'll get there.